Raise your hand if you watch Netflix. Here's a better question. How many of you set aside time each day for some form of media entertainment? Shows, movies, or social media, we all find ourselves drawn to the scenes that play out before our eyes. This fact goes beyond just being entertained. It's something much deeper. The fact that we keep returning to our favorite TV shows and movies time and time again speaks to how the media hooks us. It's not just fun, it becomes an addiction. Netflix, a renowned streaming service, reported 280 million global memberships in just 2024. That is equivalent to 2/3 of South America's population. Statistics have shown that Netflix subscribers spend an average of 2 hours a day using the platform. And professional studies have found that the portrayal of this content changes the way we consume entertainment. Rather than just watching media, we absorb it, allowing it to shape our thoughts, behavior, and what we expect from the world. We don't realize how these shows shape us, quietly slipping into the gray area of our perception, where what we consume becomes what we believe, without us even noticing. Hi, my name is Ciline, and this is how we are corrupted by consumption. So, consumption is an interesting topic. And let me give you an example of a really popular show, Suits. For those of you who are unfamiliar with this show, it's a legal drama about a college dropout who, despite his lack of a degree, is able to land a job at one of the top law firms in New York City. Now, this series creates an illusion of an effortlessly glamorous lifestyle where charisma, intelligence, and confidence always win. And this leads us to inadvertently believe things that we don't really want to believe. Now, a lot of you might find this show entertaining, but as you go deeper into its fictional world, the greater your sense of reality starts to blur. It indirectly leads us to adopt untrue beliefs about success, behavior, relationships, and even morality. Now, the interesting part is morality, because the idea that your morality, the very thing that shapes your decisions, can be influenced and even changed by the media is something we should seriously consider. It's a big concern. A lot of you might still be in denial, or you're too fixated on the fact that you're immune to trivial media influences, but what you think is trivial is actually not. With a show of hands, how many of you feel stressed on a daily basis? And again, how many of you want to catch a break from that stress? And finally, how many of you catch that break through immersing yourself in the media as a way to escape reality? A lot of you. And if the idea still hasn't made sense, when you're feeling down or stressed, watching shows and movies is a way to escape. It's because your brain gets a little chemical reward from it. It's a break from reality that helps you feel better in the moment. I mean, it's comparable to other forms of stress relief, like constantly eating sugar. Now, I hope you're making connections between the impacts of constantly eating sugar and using entertainment as a way to escape. And for shows like Suits, that make their context believable, it creates a big issue for the audience, especially young adults and children. An estimated 30% of their daily media usage is being spent on streaming services like Netflix. Now, we're talking about an audience that is actively shaping their identity and finding their moral compass. So think about how the moral compasses that you are building in your children can be easily changed due to their exposure to media. media that lacks realism, and media that lacks truth. As a student who enjoys literature and succeeds in essay-based subjects like history, English, psychology, I would explore law as a possibility. But as a media consumer, I would seriously consider law and even get fully convinced by the idyllic and romanticized lifestyle of luxury. I realized that as a teenager who has no professional expertise in the actual world, I will start to consume the wrong form of media. What I would find difficult to realize is how shows like these would shape me. Now, for shows like Suits that create a big impact on students and people my age, I would block all of the outer impacts and all of the advices that I would be given from my parents, teachers, faculty members. My view of the world will start to be morally corrupted because I'm consuming this form of entertainment that's not fulfilling the realism of the world that we live in. What I want you to think about as parents who are as hooked to the media as your children are is how often do you speak to your kids about these issues? How often do you watch movies and TV shows and think, oh, these are not realistic, these are not things that we should adapt our minds to, and think, I should address this. Now, the main defense for the wrong morals of the media is to develop something called media literacy. This is essentially being able to question the information that you're given from shows like Suits. And to do that, you must change your careless amusement to constant reflection, particularly if you're a parent. Now, you can achieve this in two different ways. Either parents can lead by example at home, having open and honest talks with their children, helping them make smart and ethical choices. Or you can allow your children to explore a range of media, but with your open authority, where they feel comfortable discussing their opinions on what they've seen. What you do not try to do is control their exposure to media, because this will spark their curiosity further and limit their ability to think for themselves. By allowing them to explore a range of content, you can actually help them build a more well-rounded and realistic view of the world that we live in, and of success and of human behavior. Now, consumption is in our nature, but when the media feeds us, who holds the spoon? Think about that. If we don't question every single thing we consume, we don't just inherit stories, we inherit biases. And in a world filled with moral corruption, awareness is our only shield. Thank you.